Hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your full moon in the fixed sign of Scorpio reading, but really this is going to be a general reading from the 25th to the 30th. But we're going to start with the full moon, which is happening on the 26th. So the way the reading is going to go is I'm going to discuss the astrology of the full moon, pull some cards for that, then move into love, relationship, and then move into career/money, any sort of financial situation. So I'm going to timestamp below for the relationship and the career section. Stick around for whatever you want to stick around for. It's totally up to you, as I know not everybody likes to stay for the full scope of everything. All right, so we have Aries, we have 5th house, and we have Neptune. All right, well, let's talk about this, right? Sagittarius, you have the full moon at Scorpio in your 12th house. You guys are going to be very tired. It's making me feel emotionally and physically exhausting for you. But instead of loading up on caffeine or any sort of stimulants, you want to take it as a sign to spend some time alone with your thoughts, because your subconscious is going to be really actively trying to tell you something, but you'll only pick up on the messages if you quiet things down, you know? So pay attention to your dreams or your intuition. Don't write things off as just like a passing gut feeling. Look at what are you intuiting right now, you know, during this energy. Now, this full moon in the 12th, remember the 12th is a Pisces energy. Pisces is the landlord. Neptune is the ruler there, and because it's in Scorpio, this energy is about digging things up right from the subconscious. So don't be surprised if you just, first of all, having weird dreams, remembering things, being flooded with just sort of like this screen of just this is your life kind of thing, you know, and a lot of things just rising up to the surface. Now we have this energy opposing the Sun, Uranus, Venus, and Mercury, all in Taurus, all in your 6th house. So your 6th house is your health, mental, physical, emotional. It's also your day-to-day experience. It's your workplace, who you work with and for, but it's just your general experience. It's also your pets, okay? So we're going to have this opposition going on. So there's going to be a lot of focus on your health, how you're feeling about things, thinking about your job, thinking about your day-to-day. What do you do in your day-to-day? This is a very profound energy for you. Even though it's happening in Scorpio, it's because it's happening in your 12th house, and because you guys are the south node of the moon right now, this is going to be a very profound stint of time for you, where there's going to be a lot of releasing of negativity, and who doesn't love that? There's going to be a lot of realizations, but I'm not going to lie, it's going to be pretty intense, because the lunar climax of Taurus season happens to be the first super moon of the year. It's also known as the pink moon, okay? And this energy is not playing around. So it's happening on the 26th, and we're all going to be feeling these deepest secrets, these vulnerabilities, all coming to the surface. It's all unavoidable. You guys are going to be feeling it really strong, though, having it in your 12th house, but it's going to be helping you to face a truth, your truth, right? As well as your own power in how to handle something. So this is going to be a hard-hitting energy. I'm not going to lie, but you know, so listen, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. There's a lot of good coming out of this, so let's try to look at it as the glass half full, not empty. And full moons, as they do, they tend to illuminate situations, but Scorpio is a sign that values privacy, right? So right now you may not be very inclined to really share your emotional epiphanies and things that you're going through in your internal world, especially because you're having this in the house of the hidden, the house of the subconscious, the 12th house. So do whatever you need to do to protect your energy right now. Now, besides the full moon sitting in this tense opposition to the sun, it's also forming a confrontational oppositional aspect to Uranus. So and that face-off could bring about some sudden realizations, right? And dealing with this tension on top of the full moon can be kind of challenging, but it's also going to inspire you to think of things from a new perspective, or at least help you figure something out that you've been struggling with. So you really want to use this energy in a smart way, right, to your ultimate advantage, right? And let's just talk about how it's, again, specifically going to be impacting you. Let's pull some cards here. Let's pull one more Moonology card. We have the Nine of Wands, Page of Swords in reverse, Queen of Wands, and the Chariot. I like getting that Chariot. It's about moving away from something that's toxic, right? Away from something that's toxic. So let's see what we have. Confidence is your key to success. New Moon in Leo. Very nice. Okay, doing something scared. trying to tap into your confidence and really trying to balance out a situation. We have the 10th house is reputation, your public standing in the world, but it's also your career. Capricorn is the landlord there. Saturn is the ruler. So this has to do with, just your everything, your career, right? Excuse me, but the macro element of your career, like what it is that you do. And I like that we have this here with Jupiter, because this is all about luck and expansion. So there's going to be a lot of focus on this for you, I feel like right now. Is when we have anything in the 12th house, first house, whatever it is that we're thinking, we're trying to figure out, there's going to be a lot of focus kind of on every area of life, right? So for you, because it's happening in that 12th house, 6th house axis, you really think it's 6th house, your day-to-day work experience, right? What do you do? Like, what's going on for you there? Where do you work? What do you do on a day-to-day? How are you feeling about what you're doing? Do you feel that things are equitable? Do you feel like things need to be more fair, right? Now, we have Neptune, which is about, first of all, Neptune is the ruler of the 12th house, which is exactly where you have in this full moon in Scorpio. And Neptune energy is kind of like a foggy energy, right? Sort of smoke and mirror. You want to be careful to not try to call definitive shots on anything when Neptune shows up, right? Because you may not have all the information. I always say Neptune energy is like trying to look at life through like either a really dirty window or a thick fog. It's like you can kind of make out what's there, but not really. I just want to make sure that you don't get into a situation where you end up martyring yourself, or you end up being like victimized in a situation. But there may be a lack of clarity as far as, where exactly it is that you want to set your feet next, right? Because the Aries energy is always about that fresh path, that new perspective. It's the leadership vibe, right? It's the Emperor energy. It's also a lot of the wand energy, right? The 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands, a lot of Aries energy in there. So it's about, looking at things differently. It's all by Mars. So it's like, all right, I want different. I want to do different. So you might want to do different, having to do with the business, having to do with romance, romantic connection. You might be ready for a new romance, Sagittarius. You might be ready to start your own business. You might be ready to have kids. You might be ready to do something different with your kids, right? Because that's all 5th house energy. It's the house of fun, right? It's the house of creativity and romance and children and father. Something you might be experiencing some sort of confliction regarding a father figure right now as well. That's going to resonate with some of you. Again, as I always say, don't try to make any of these messages fit, because if they don't fit, they don't fit. Right now, I'm speaking the astrology for the archetype of Sagittarius. I don't know you. I don't know your chart unless I've worked with you privately. Then you're going to better know how to handle these messages, but just in general, okay? So we have first the 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is still having some fire in your belly for something. You're in a strong position. You are feeling tired, right? Because you're fighting like long and hard at something and you're exhausted, right? But you are going to have the perseverance to see it through. This is temporary. You may be feeling very defensive right now. That's highly likely. Just be careful that it doesn't spin you into any sort of like negative mindset that you can't get out of. Your efforts are going to be met with success. Just be patient and let something play itself out. Because remember, the 9 of Wands is followed by what? The 10 of Wands, and that's where it becomes all wacky and imbalanced, right? So you're okay, you persevere, just make sure you keep things in balance here. We do have a Page of Swords in reverse. So Page of Swords in reverse, this could be an energy that brings on some maybe bad news, okay? For some of you, I'm just going to say it, right? It can be some challenging news coming in, having to do with some sort of legal situation, tax situation. This could also indicate challenges with a child in some area of your life. Again, because you guys have this going on in your 12th house, I'm just going to hit how it can manifest in all the different ways. So you might be having trouble either with your kids or with a partner's kids, or even if they're adult kids, it doesn't matter, but there could be some sort of issue there. There could be some negative information that's challenging for you that you're going to just have to sort of troubleshoot and deal with, having to do with some sort of legal aspect, again, tax issue, anything like that for some of you. Or some of you just may be dealing with a very sort of immature and manipulative personality within your midst, right? Could be somebody in your family, career, friendship circle, anything like that. Now following that, we have the Queen of Wands, which is good energy. Queen of Wands is all about stepping into your power, and you're supposed to be stepping into your power now. Don't feel surprised, though, if you're not feeling the energy to do it yet. But ideas are going to be popping while you're getting the extra rest, because you really need to be. You're going to have the strength to make things happen. This is a really good energy about just really stepping into your power. It's a motivating energy, right? It's wands. Wands are will, motivation, forward movement, but doing things that, thinking about things in a very sort of practical way as well, not being sort of airy-fairy about what it is that you're moving into, trying to stay practical, while you're moving forward in something. And then we have the Chariot energy. So the Chariot energy is really about moving forward out of something. So it's about swift progress, change, determination, just moving away from toxicity towards a metaphorical home space, right? A journey. Some of you might be getting a new car, or you might be going on some sort of trip, or looking forward to some sort of trip. Several truths can be going on at once. You might be going on a trip, maybe you got a new car, and you're also moving away from dealing with something that's very toxic. But either way, I feel like what's on the other side of this full moon in Scorpio on the 12th for you is going to ultimately be a positive thing, even though you're not going to feel, just know one thing, you're not going to feel totally clear about things just yet. I would wait until Jupiter pulls away from Saturn in May for that 3-month stint, and then I would see how that ends up rolling out for you, if that makes sense. Because I do believe Saturn, because Saturn is hanging out, Saturn is hanging out in your 3rd, right? So you have this full moon in Scorpio happening in your 12th, right? And again, it's opposing the Sun, Uranus, Venus, and Mercury all in that 6th, and we talked about that. It's squaring Saturn and Aquarius in your 3rd, but right now Jupiter is hanging out in there. What is 3rd house? 3rd house is doing business as, signing papers, signing on the bottom line, learning, communication, short distance travel, siblings. There's a very strong family vibe. It's extended family as well. If you're dealing with like step anybody, like step children, step whatever, that would be 3rd house as well. That really wouldn't be 5th house energy, although it can be. It depends on your relationship, and you would know how that would resonate with you. But that's the 3rd house energy, is communicating. But there is this Saturn energy in there squaring this full moon. So don't be surprised if you're sort of in this almost like 9 of Swords space. Those of you who know the cards, where it's like that card, I call it the 3 a.m. card, where there's rumination. You're just not sure how to see your way out of something. You're kind of feeling where you want to go, but you can't really. You're feeling a little stuck in how to actually make that happen for yourself, right? But you're going to be getting help from this trine to Mars in Cancer, which is happening in your 8th house. So there's going to be some sort of security surrounding a settlement, some sort of shared resources. This could also be very good for even relationship. Ultimately, like when I say relationship, it's how you show up as a we in relationship. Because the 8th house is like your partner's money, and how does it blend with your money? How does your partner communicate compared to how you communicate? How do you guys share values? Because the 2nd house, 8th house axis, that has to do with money, but it's also things we value. It has to do with intimacy, right? How you show up as a business partner. Also, again, that 8th house, beautiful, like nice energy happening in the 8th house for you. Stock market, investments, getting any sort of payout. It's not negotiating. That's more 9th house. 8th house is the payout, right? The payout for something. So that's what I see happening for you. I see you going in a good direction, but you're going to be very tired right now, and you feel very confused. If you're feeling like that, it's on point, and you must have very strong Sagittarius in you. Remember, if you're Sag Sun, but you were born between sunrise and sunset, you may resonate greater with your moon sign. It's very important to check all of your signs as well, not just one sign, because we're all the signs, right? It depends on what house it's hitting us in. All right, my friends. So that is what we have for the full moon. Now let's go into relationship. I'm going to pull some oracles, and we'll do a Celtic cross spread, and we'll see what's going on. Let's move these guys out of the way. All right. Okay, let's pull a healing yourself, a couple of these. Let's see. Victim consciousness and letting go. Okay, feeling like something is just plumb not fair. Something you're going through just not fair. Something needs to be let go of. Now, these two don't even have to be related. You might just feel like you've been caught up in a really unfair situation, and relationship, business, whatever it is. I mean, this is for a relationship, but this could just sort of be like having to do with money as well. Do you know what I mean? That's why the energies sort of cross over. This relationship, a lot of times, there are financial components to something. So there might be something where you feel like the victim, like you got the lousy end of the stick, or you're having to deal with something that you really shouldn't have to deal with. But then there's also got to be this letting go of something, really figuring out like what matters, what doesn't matter anymore. And the thing is too, with full moon Scorpio and the 12th, things are going to be dug up that you're going to be looking at. And the general, I want you to think about the weather of the 12th house energy is that of, it's a Pisces energy. Pisces is a very giving energy, but to the point of almost being victimized, right? It is that feeling of feeling victimized, feeling like the need to martyr oneself, right? That's a very Piscean energy. So, but I feel like you're going to be realizing like something needs to, or you're going to be pushed to realize that something needs to be let go of. So you're going to be getting some help. We have the Tower here. And we have the Mask energy. So the Tower has to do really, because this is a relationship read in Lenormand, it can have to do with an institution, right? So it's the institution of marriage. And when we're dealing with Mask energy, it's acting one way on the outside and feeling very differently on the inside. So you may be in a situation right now, Sagittarius, where you're in something where you feel viscerally like it is just not fair for you, but you don't want to bite your nose off to spite your face. So you realize something needs to be released and let go, right? Because the institution is it can be the institution of marriage. This could also be like a hospital, a law firm, any sort of large institution that's benefiting you, though. It's helpful. Something's going to be helpful, but you sort of staying the course for the moment. Let's pull some Island Time Wellness and see what we get here to clarify some of these messages. We have a Snake energy, and we have Twin Flame. Those are challenging to get together. And then we have Love. Heart with the Key, welcoming love, meeting the one. Open your heart, getting together, perfect. Okay, so the Snake energy is about just like feeling very competitive. This can mean several things. I mean, you see all the clarifiers here. It doesn't mean that all of them. I mean, it lists competition, enemy, clever, malicious, looking over your shoulder, the other woman, the other man. It doesn't necessarily, there could be a third party, doesn't have to be, but this really can simply be feeling very competitive with your partner. And you guys know what I mean if you're in it, where there's this constant one-upness, who does more, who brings more, all of that. And we have the Twin Flame energy, though, which is about complementing each other, really, more than anything. And we have Love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. And then we have Heart with the Key. Welcoming love and meeting the one. Open your heart, getting together, and perfect. Okay. I'm feeling more than two energies here. Let's see what the Celtic cross spread. Feeling several energies here. So, let's see what this says. We have the Hermit. Seven of Wands in reverse. The Strength card. Seven of Swords in reverse. Queen of Cups. Five of Cups in reverse. Better than in the upright. You're having a hard time settling a conflict, though, either within yourself or with somebody else. But let's see. We have the Queen of Cups coming into this energy. Really nice. I mean, astrology, this is Gemini and Cancer. It's communication about what you need to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure, right? So as a general influence, this is falling in love, deepening of love, honesty, knowing what's needed to make something work. Just being very loving, very giving. Not afraid of intimacy. This could also indicate parenting. Really being very focused on being a good parent as well. But really having this conversation and learning and realizing what you need to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure, right? In the recent past. So this is the current situation right now. We have the Hermit being crossed by the Seven of Wands in reverse. The Hermit energy is Virgo. Virgo is the landlord of the 6th house of problems, right? So it's a problem-solving energy. And if you're alone right now, if you happen to be alone, it's because whatever you were in up to this point has not been meant for you, and it's time to do some really good work on yourself. So think about your past experiences, so mistakes are not repeated in the future, right? And only you know that, right? What patterns seem to always sort of cycle around and rear their head in relationships for you? Even whether it's from you or an energy that you feel like you consistently draw towards you, you know? And think about these things, right? And for those of you who are in a relationship, then it's time to invest more energy and work to smooth over any issues that really need addressing right now. You know, in a very real, honest way, very honest way. So we have that working with the Seven of Wands in the reverse, which is about having weak boundaries and you know, plans stalling out. Maybe you guys had, you know, conversation about we have to do A, B, and C in the relationship, but it never really taking off, right? And there being this like quitting energy, like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So, you know, for those of you in relationship, if you're being called to like work on something a little differently, you might be in this space where it's like, I don't know if I really want it. I'm just not sure if it's really what I want, what I need. And you, with this full moon in Scorpio on the 12th, you go very hermit, right? Very deeply introspective to figure out what your truth is. Now we have in the crowning energy the Strength card. So the Strength card does indicate, like, if your relationship's been tested, things are going to improve, but there's a need for balance. There's a need for balance here. Somebody needs their ego stroked. Now, physical attraction can end up serving to mask deeper issues that need to be addressed. So just be careful of that. You know, that you end up not talking about the elephant in the room because, you know, you're feeling very attracted to them, and, you know, you kind of let that take over. Instead of having that conversation that you may really need to have. Remember, Strength is Leo. Leo rules romance, right? And the act of sex. So that could certainly happen. But there is this need to balance something, and it is a good energy for those of you in a relationship. For those of you who are not in a relationship, the Strength energy could indicate you meeting somebody as well. So we have the Seven of Swords in the reverse as the foundation energy, and this is about getting caught doing something but then making amends. And when I say getting caught, it's like calling somebody out, somebody calling you out, you calling somebody else out, but then there being like a conversation after it where you're at least making amends with the situation. So this could certainly be where something happened and you're feeling like you were either taken advantage of, something did not really align with what you felt to be the right thing, you know, and calling somebody out on it, or them doing it to you. Could certainly be the other way around. Those of you, many of you know tarot, some of you haven't been at it for quite as long than others, so you know the energies could always be enmeshed. So it could always be vice versa. But there's something that needs to be let go of, addressed, healed. Again, we have the this energy in Lenormand. This is like an institution energy. So again, a marriage, a lawyer, any sort of hospital, therapy, counseling, you know, there's an addiction at play, getting help with that, getting help with something. There being help. There's help available to a situation if you need it. Five of Cups in reverse, moving on, forgiveness. Hope returning, getting past something, recovery, really nice. The energy external to you that's influencing you, we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So you might be dealing with somebody who's rather jealous of you. Again, going back to this idea of like competition, do you have that active in your relationship? Sometimes, you know, that happens, right? Even in intimate relationships. There's this like, who does more, who's bringing more to the table, you know, that kind of thing. Right, so the Nine of Pentacles energy could certainly be like this jealousy, envy kind of thing. You might be dealing with somebody who's experiencing some financial setbacks, or you may be. That may be the general energy that's surrounding you. The general energy that's surrounding you too also may be, you you may be dealing with somebody who's working a lot, who's working a whole lot as well. And they're so focused on work that they're not focused enough on the connection that you guys have. Yeah, I mean, we have the King of Cups here. Again, I mentioned this when I first pulled the spread because my eye landed on this initially. That, this does indicate a need existing, to settle a conflict, either within yourself or with somebody else. And you may not be really sure how to actually do that, right? So, and this may be a little bit of a challenge for you. You may also feel like you're dealing with somebody who's very emotionally manipulative and at worst, right? Somebody who's actually an abusive person towards you. But I was getting the energy where it's like you're not sure what's real, what's not real. If you're experiencing that, where you just want to make sure you're not making excuses for somebody for poor behavior, right? Now, we do have the Eight of Wands, but that's your psychological energy. It doesn't mean that it's actually happening, because that could be based in fear or based in something else from your past, right? Now, we have the Eight of Wands as the near future energy. I love this card, as this is great news about love, especially if you've been separated, for those of you in that space. But good news coming in, lots of busy communication. Great if you've been feeling held back or stuck, waiting on somebody or waiting for a decision or something like that. So the ability to grow the relationship happening here. And I love that we get the Three of Pentacles in the final outcome, because this is about collaborating, right? And being able to have a successful relationship because you're both working at it. This is Mars and Capricorn. So you're both willing to put that work. And, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is actually one of the best energies to have in relationship reads. And I know a lot of you are like, well, what the hell are you talking about, woman? Who wants Saturn hanging out in a relationship? Well, you should, because Saturn brings the most long-lasting gifts. Difficult while you're going through it, but if you can make it through to the other side, it's an energy that lasts for a long, long time. And Mars is all about being on the right path, right? So it's a collaborative energy, and there being success here, but it's starting from, let's go back to the basics and what really matters, right? That's why I call this the Architect card. It's you guys going in and saying, all right, what do we see for this relationship? What do we see? So I feel like there's been a lot of pain here. Now, some of you, if you don't resonate with this and you're dealing with a very unhealthy energy, and you guys broke things off and you're like, good riddance, I'm not even looking back, this is not your reading. Maybe we'll get you next time. This is more for those of you who've been experiencing something challenging. You're really looking to adjust the way things are in the relationship. There can be trust issues. There can be like an energy of competition, never comfortable. But there's got to be this communication and ego stroking here. And you do with that whatever you want, but this is what I'm getting from the cards, okay? All right, so that's what we have for that. Twin flame and love as a 2 center. Right? Welcoming love and meeting the one. So, some of you are going to be working it out with your partner. Others of you are just like, no, that's what I was in. And now I am really ready to open my heart to somebody else. Because I don't want to deal with that snake energy. And some of you are like, I really don't care if somebody calls them my twin flame. It's because twin flames sometimes are in our life for a reason and a season, not a lifetime, right? And you just loving yourself more. So that's going to resonate with many of you. As I do know, Sagittarius as the South Node, depending on what else is going on in your chart, some of you are having your asses handed to you in a relationship. I do know that. So I've been reading for a lot of you, and I know it's been a rough go. But others of you are in a space of reconciling. So again, depends on what else is in your chart. Okay, so let's go on to career, money, how I do. For those of you who are on my channel, welcome. By the way, now that we're like almost 29 minutes into the video, welcome to my channel. But I don't only focus on just career. This could be an avenue of study, any sort of legal situation you have going on where there would be a financial payout. This could also even have to do with your partner's money. Anything on that second house, 8th house axis, it's the money axis, things you value, things that matter to you, right? So this could have to do with an inheritance, insurance payout, a divorce settlement, selling of a home, buying of a home, a property, the stock market, the money that you make from the work that you do, all that stuff. all that stuff. Let's see what we have here. Bless. Oh, bless keeps coming out. I love this. I love this. I don't know. Maybe it's my mother-in-law and father showing up and saying, oh, Sagittarius, it's all for you. But I'd like to think that, Sag, you guys have somebody on the other side as well who loves you very much, and they are helping you. Look at this. Blessed and clean it up. Somebody else got these two cards. Who got these? A Scorpio. So I don't know if you have Scorpio in your chart. Chop wood. I love it. Don't do anything. Just focus on getting your ducks in a row. Focus on less new and more. Again, this is only for the 25th to the 30th. But blessed, first of all, means something very destiny-driven is happening. Chop wood means don't do anything. Let things ride out the way they are right now. And clean it up means tie up those loose ends. What do you need to do to move into that space? Who do you need to call? What do you need to research? Do you need to learn something? Do you need to take a workshop? Do you need to sell something? Do you need to purchase something in order to set yourself up? You know what I mean? It's that research. It's like a research energy. So let's see what Celtic cross spread comes out as. Okay. Okay. So we're getting some growth here, some conflicting energies, but let's talk about it. So we have the Four of Pentacles here, which is about security and self-protection and really focusing on improving yourself, watching your money so that you have money in the future. It's not because you're being miserly. I really dislike when people say that this is the miserly energy. It's you're watching your money because you want to make sure you have a firm foundation moving forward, right? And for those of you who are working maybe in a part-time position or in a position where you would like more opportunity, right? This is really good, right? You sort of moving into where you're getting more opportunity to do more in what it is that you're doing. Or you're at least thinking about that because you're focused on protecting yourself and protecting your future. You may even be feeling rather self-protective right now, having to do with the situation, which makes sense, particularly for those of you who are resonating with this as a lawsuit. Okay, or anything like that. Of course, we always feel rather protective of self, right? Of course, in those situations. So the foundation right now, we have the Six of Cups as the foundation here of the situation going on right now, being crossed by the Eight of Pentacles. So the Six of Cups, when it's reversed, is living in the past and having unrealistic expectations about something. I have this working with the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is about focusing on responsibilities in a diligent and hardworking way, you know, money or connection being on its way as a result of any sort of previous efforts, you know, you being very focused on furthering yourself in some way, whether it's furthering your education, your skill set, whatever it is. But there's this need for a logical and diligent approach to whatever you're working with, right? So there's going to be this sort of tug of war between you having this very strong, diligent approach and you maybe being rather unrealistic in expectations regarding how something can ultimately end up, regarding some sort of either lawsuit, financial situation. Doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. It just means that, and it's going to end up being good, but it may not end up being as fantabulous as you initially thought. It was going in. Stay the course though. Do what you have to do. I'm getting like this very, okay, one step at a time, do what you have to do. Between the chop wood, the clean it up, and now we have the Hierophant energy, right? So the Hierophant energy is progression forward, okay? Having to do with whatever you're putting your energy into, work, decision making, the direction that you're going in, whatever it is. You can be, or you might be dealing with somebody who is very motivated, very inspirational to you. This could be a boss, a colleague, a coworker, a lawyer, a family member, somebody who is really very inspirational to you right now. But again, the Hierophant energy also is really about expectations, conformity. You do this, then you do this, then you do this, right? It's this an energy of expectation. Do it, as we're supposed to be doing it, one step at a time. And we have the moon in the foundation. So you might achieve a goal that you're working towards, but ultimately feel like it's not worth the effort. Emotions can be running high with maybe your colleagues or your boss. You might feel the need to protect yourself from others' negativity. So this could also be family members if you're dealing with an inheritance. This could be your ex if you're dealing with anything having to do with divorce, or an opposing party if you're dealing with any sort of like an insurance settlement. Obviously, it could be that. It makes sense, right? But money matters ending up being in your favor and ending up stable, right? But you want more satisfaction than just something that's okay, And again, I just feel like you truly, whether it's real or not, it doesn't matter. It's real to you. Whether it's a lack mentality, right? Where you might have a lot of money, but it's some situation might be like, but it's the point of the matter. It's like, this isn't fair kind of thing. And you being very focused on protecting yourself, whether it's you're literally worried about your money or you're worried about protecting yourself and you don't want to be taken advantage of, right? But it does look like something is sort of rolling itself out. Now, we got the Eight of Cups in your position. This represents you and only you. I like this for you because this is fully learning from the past. This could also indicate someone or something coming back home or coming back around or coming around to see your way of seeing things. So there's a return of an energy. Now, it could literally just be somebody coming around to see your side of things. And you'll know if that resonates with you. Or somebody literally coming home. Maybe if finances have been challenging, maybe you deciding to move home, or somebody moving in with you, right? Could be something like that. But we do have the Three of Swords energy here. So the Three of Swords energy it's the card of pain, right? It's Saturn and Libra. And Libra's that 7th house of partnerships. It could be marriage, it could be work, anybody that we have that shared soul connection with. So you might, this is an external energy that's impacting you. Okay, so this could be a general energetic influence surrounding you, or this could be literally somebody else who's feeling a lot of pain, or this idea of pain and betrayal or sadness or confusion might be surrounding you. But what's good about the Three of Swords, even though it's a card of pain, what happens is any confusion that you've been feeling is going to be gone, and you're going to be in a position to move on from a situation that did not feel very good to you, okay? So a lot of you are going to be resonating with it like that. Some of you, this can indicate that, now I'm not saying this to be scary or anything like that, but either surrounding you or somebody close to you may be dealing with some sort of heart issue that might need attention to safeguard, any sort of circulatory issue, blood pressure, angina, anything like that. Just something like that could be the energy surrounding you, or you dealing with that with somebody close, maybe a business partner, a family member, and that's impacting finances, something like that. Oh, this could also just be pain if you're dealing with the pain of something ending, a marriage, or the pain of losing someone. You're dealing with an inheritance, but you're also dealing with the pain of losing someone, right? So it could be that as well. So we have the 10 of Cups energy in your block, right? So the 10 of Cups is about family contentment and benefits, right? All like really nice stuff. But so what this tells me is there's family trouble. There could be this could indicate divorce, right? Which would indicate, obviously, it would speak to your finances. Family trouble can speak to any sort of inheritance issue, dealing with the buying or selling of any sort of like family business situation. There could be challenges in that area. This can definitely serve to be a block for you. What your family needs financially can be a block for you. It's psychological, meaning like that's the challenge. Like you have that, And so with that, you also have to deal with all of this, right? And that could be what you're feeling. In the near future, we have the Two of Pentacles. So there's this need for negotiation and needing to make a decision regarding more than one path or one strategy in dealing with something, because you're feeling like something's off. You're feeling a sense of lack. If it's not money, it could be a level of connection to something that you're doing for work, something that you're studying, something that you're learning, something that you're working at. Maybe you're not feeling very connected to your attorney. You're not feeling very connected to some sort of investment after all that you were looking to make, right? Something, it almost feels like your shoes are on the wrong feet. So you need to decide which pentacle to put down and which thing doesn't feel right, and then move in another direction, right? We do have the Six of Swords in the reverse, and this is feeling unable to move on, and there being some sort of feeling of stagnancy going on with the situation. So let's pull a few cards with that. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Magician in the reverse. Okay, that can be a little bit of a frenetic energy. And we have the Four of Swords. Okay, so the Three of Pentacles energy is nice. I mean, this is about collaborating, Mars and Capricorn, rewarding work, right? Your talent shining, some sort of successful launch, putting money into a home, selling a home. You might even want to be selling a home, anything like that. You might be dealing with people also who might be feeling rather jealous of you right now, Sagittarius, also. A negative energy, almost like, they don't deserve that. Why do they, all of that kind of yucky energy could certainly be at play here. We have this trickster energy in your midst, right? And you're possibly being misled by somebody who is a rather charming manipulator, like just a smooth, gifted bullshit artist. This could also indicate a creative block or challenges in problem solving and communication. So you want to try to avoid scattered thinking and just really focus on what you can control and just stepping back. And I see you doing that, especially with this full moon in Scorpio in your 12th. The full Four of Swords is taking a step back for perspective. Great energy for seeking counsel, seeking therapy, seeking some sort of like coach, or just really trying to figure out a situation so that you can figure out a better strategy for moving forward regarding that situation if somebody's really not working with you, right? So because I kind of feel like you're dealing with a challenging personality. Did I not? I almost feel like that was the title. Was it you? I don't know. I forget my readings. Was it you that I said you're dealing with a challenging personality? I feel like last week. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Forgive me, please. But you are dealing with a challenging personality for sure, having to do with some sort of financial situation, some sort of career work, something like that. But the energy here is Spirit's on your side. Don't do anything right now. Just focus on cleaning up whatever you can, getting your ducks in a row. Because it looks like something has to kind of go through the motions of something, and you're going to figure out a different strategy. I hope that makes sense. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful for you in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.